Only hard questions in this podcast.
So
Yeah.
you keep thinking if I will spend 4 years in Norway, it will be 2 years of winter.
I'm changed in every part of me because now I'm feeling everything differently. The period abroad in your life is important because you can see how different people manage the same thing.
Today's episode is about courage, curiosity, and what happens when you take your research so far from home.
Okay.
So my guest today is Alessia.
Hi,
She's
everyone.
an Italian PhD student that came to Norway for a research visit. And the most interesting thing is that she's researching in psychology. So she will tell us about Norway, her experience, not only as a researcher, but also as a person, and how her background in psychology interpreted the difference between Norway and Italy. So welcome, Alessia.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you. So before we dive into Norway, let's start with you. Can you tell us a bit more about your background and your PhD?
Okay, yeah, sure. It's quite a complex background because I attended the university in psychology, cognitive psychology. So it's oriented in research and academic field. And now I'm doing a PhD in neuroscience. So I'm trying to focus more on sensoriality and how our brain reacts to the prolonged sensory stimulation.
That's interesting.
I hope so.
So many PhD students dream about going abroad, but not everyone takes the risk, but takes as a challenge. So what made you decide to do a research visit abroad?
Well, it's an opportunity. And when you have resources like money or just, the courage to do it, it's like a spontaneous choice. You cannot miss that kind of opportunity. And it's always beautiful and funny and interesting to just approach to other cultures, just to be sure that you are not alone in the world, in a sense.
Yeah, that's a good point. So why Norway specifically? What made you choose Norway?
Well, it's a long story because I went here 6 years ago for an Erasmus internship in my university. And now, 6 years after, I decided to close the circle and come here again, just to be sure that this kind of love, this kind of relationship, didn't change in so many years.
So did you discover that it was changed or is still the same?
It's still the same in the concept, but something is definitely changed because, I'm not the same person of 6 years back.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Norway is peaceful and calm and quiet. And this kind of characteristics of this place makes me feel like I want to embrace this kind of environment. But yeah, I'm not the same person. So I hope that I grown up in a way. So yeah,
So the most interesting thing here is that even if you changed like in 6 years, like your love for Norway didn't change. So that's kind of interesting.
Yeah, that's a thing. And it's not so easy that the relationship just doesn't change in the spiritual concept. But, I would say that it's easy to fall in love with Norway.
I agree.
Yeah.
I totally agree. So let's look at your background. Like as a psychology researcher, you don't just experience a new country, you also observe people differently, right? So did moving to Norway like make you reflect differently on human behavior, like on well-being or social dynamics?
Yeah, absolutely. Because Norway, this part of Europe, is very different from the Southern Europe, It's like, I'm Italian, so it's quite different. But I could feel that the most important thing in Norway when you just came here, it's like you feel that kind of feeling in which you can be whoever you want because people just don't judge because they don't want to interrupt something or they don't want to be rude with you. So you can be exactly whoever you want to be. And I think that this is the most important aspect that you just bring home after you go to Norway.
Yeah, I totally agree. I also felt the same. Like when I moved to Norway, I felt like this like kind of peace that I've never felt before.
Yeah.
Like you can be totally yourself by being also free from any judgment.
Yeah,
So that's
yeah.
also interesting.
Absolutely. Also on the train or on the bus, you can be peaceful and you can just hear music without any interruptions or judgments from others.
But do you think that is it because of the Norwegian culture or because we are in a place that nobody knows us and we don't understand the language and culture, so maybe we don't understand the judgment of others?
Could be, but I will never know. It's obviously a different culture. For example, in Italy, you can feel it. Even if you are a tourist, you can feel the judgment from the others. Not because all Italians judge people, but it's really different. I mean, in Italy, but I guess it's the same in Spain or in France. People want to chat with you, want to know you because you are on their country. So they want to know you usually in a peaceful way. So it's kind of different here. I guess it's related also to the weather. I mean, in winter, it's so difficult to just chat with people outside. It's like, okay, I'm really cold, so I need to wear gloves. I need to wear headphones.
It's -20 and they say, hey, hello.
I mean, now, not here, please. So yeah.
But something that we can assume for sure that we can detect from also the look of people on the street or on the train or something. So the look of people is different. This is I also experienced it like compared to my country. But for the other aspects, we will have also a Norwegian guest and he will tell us more. And if there are some myths that we hear about them that are not true. So we will figure out.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, now let's talk about everyday life, like the things that you don't read in brochure.
Okay.
So what was the biggest cultural difference you noticed when you arrived here?
Okay, that's tough. There are a lot of things that are different from my culture, but I think that I can stress the point of quietness. And I mean, Norwegians are so helpful, but you have to ask help because they just don't give you help without you asking it. So probably that's the main difference that I noticed when I come here.
How did you experience the weather, the darkness and the rhythm of life?
Well, it's my first winter, so I was curious more than afraid of it. So I guess it's fine for now, but probably because it's the first year. I remember that you said to me that probably from the second, third year, you can experience that kind of okay, it's so dark. I'm so depressed.
That's true. Also, when you're staying for a temporary period, you will embrace everything. You kind of say, oh, it's temporary, even if it's so cold. Oh, that's okay.
Yeah, exactly.
I will go home soon and it will end soon.
Yeah, exactly. And then I knew that I would be at home for Christmas. So it was like, okay, I have to resist for like 3 months and then I will go back to Italy. It's in the first year it's like more about curiosity than other kind of feelings.
That's true. So you will just discover whether you will like it or not. So then it doesn't matter.
Yeah, exactly.
The reason why I told you that it could be difficult afterward because it's like the winter here is long. So it's like a kind of 6 months. So if you didn't cope with the winter and you didn't have outdoor activity and stuff, it would be like even longer for you. When you think about it, like if it's 6 months, so it's half a year. So you keep thinking if I would spend 4 years in Norway, it would be 2 years of winter.
Yeah.
It starts to be scary. So that's why I told you my point.
Yeah, I mean it's a point.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if you have if you have a lot to do, if you have more activities to do. I mean, I work most of the day, so it's like okay, I go to the university at 9 a.m. for example, and I go out at 6 p.m. So I don't even notice what happens outside of the university.
I see.
So it's like, okay, I can go out at 6, so it's dark. So yeah, it's fine. I mean,
so you don't even have the time to think about it.
Yeah,
because you would be working if you were even if you were in Italy with the sunshine.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe you can experience the difference in the weekends. Because on Saturday and Sunday, obviously you don't work here. In Italy, it's not the same. But here you don't work on weekends, and it's quite strange because you got up with darkness and you go to bed with darkness. So it's like, okay, what time is it? I have to sleep. I have to get up. It's quite a challenge.
So as a psychology researcher, how can you interpret what's happening for the psychology of a person when he's experiencing this darkness and long winter?
Well, I'm not an expert in this field, but I will try to guess. Sunshine is really important for us, for human beings, because sunshine is, a metaphor for life, for rise up. And without sunshine, it's like, okay, it's like a suspended period in which you just make your life in pause. It's like a break, an infinite break of 6 months. So that's the reason why they have to take, fish pills or something to gain more vitamin D and so on, because the sunshine is important for us. Also on concrete way, because the light, the brightness of the sky is really important for us. And you can see the difference if you just travel from here to, for example, Sicily. In Sicily, you have a clear sky almost all the year. So you can see this bright and clear sky in which also the palette of the colors is quite unique. You can see that difference.
Interesting. Yeah, I agree with what you said, and I could also add a point on that. I think being inside also is not good for the mood, the daily mood. So we are, as humans, are not meant to be inside for 24 hours.
Yeah.
So I think this feeling of cold and being afraid of going outside in minus 15 or 20 could make us stay more at home, and then this is not good. So that's why, like, many Norwegians love winter. They don't even just deal with it. They love it because they have activities that they love that makes them go outside. So I think it's important.
Yeah, obviously, but they have a lot of winter activities, really a lot. And you can see how Norwegian people manage the snow also. I mean, in my country, not in Sicily, but in my hometown, in the middle of Italy, we have snow on winter, not so much nowadays, but you have snow. And when it begins to snow, it's like, oh my God, oh no, that's a disaster. I mean, they close the schools, they close everything. You cannot, be outside of your house because it's like, okay, I cannot be able to return home probably because buses stop, trains stop. It's like, it's a disaster. Even if it's a place in the mountains. Here, it's normal. It's a normal winter. Okay, it's snowing. Okay, it's fine.
Yeah.
I mean, we can do it. And it's actually, they are able to manage this kind of thing because they get used to it.
Yeah, and they are also well prepared. They have the equipment and everything to not get stuck.
Yeah, to just feel it normal. Yeah.
Yeah, also I like how they are prepared also for heating. So if somebody's thinking about coming to Norway, so you should not be afraid, because also in my case, when I was in Tunisia, it's warmer, but I used to feel colder than here because we are not prepared for cold. But here they are prepared. So everything is heated. Yeah. You don't feel cold at all. And they are also prepared for the clothes. You will find like the clothes that makes you feel warm even if you are in minus 20.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, our clothes are really normal and we can manage the winter here. Every place has heaters, a lot of heaters. So you can feel this kind of dry warm.
Yeah, true.
And it's quite different from our countries, I guess.
So let's move to challenges. So living abroad can be exciting, but also emotionally challenging, right?
Yeah.
So what was the hardest moment during your stay so far?
Whoa, it's a hard question. Well, I live outside of my home from a long time now. So I'm quite used to, the distance from home. But now I can say that my home is in Sicily and not in my hometown. So it's like, okay, when I'm here, when I'm abroad, out of Italy, I can feel I can feel that I miss two homes, you know, and it's like, it's bad, it's sad, because you miss your family, you miss your friends, your people, even your cities. It's like, okay, I miss that city. I miss that monument so much. But I know that when I will go home in one of the two homes, I will miss Norway. I will miss Oslo, and yeah, I will miss people here.
So then you will have 3 homes to miss.
Yeah. I mean, spiritually, I have a lot of homes. I mean, I have homes whenever I have friends.
I totally agree.
Yeah, it's like that. It's about people. It's about environment. It's about geography. I'm really interested and I'm really attached to geography, but also people create that kind of sensation of home and belonging.
Yes, that's interesting.
Yeah.
So did you experience any loneliness or self-doubt or cultural fatigue?
No, I would say no, because as I said, in that period, 6 months before now, I needed loneliness. I needed some kind of space, my own space. So I would say no. But yeah, at some point, I will miss that kind of chaos. I will miss that kind of noise. And probably I will say another thing. It's temporary. I mean, it related to my attitude and to my behavior of the moment, I guess.
Okay, now let's move to the personal transformation. If you look at yourself now, in what ways has this experience changed you?
Only hard questions in this podcast. Well, I usually don't think about it, because if I focus on my personal transformation in life, it would be so difficult to come out of it. Yeah, it's like, okay, I can see myself. I can see myself back then, and I can see myself now. What is changed? I mean, I'm changed in every part of me, because now I'm feeling everything differently. I'm more rational. I can manage things more easily than before, because the period abroad in your life is important, because you can see how different people manage the same thing, and you can copy them. You can say, okay, that's a method that I can copy. That's a method that I like a lot to manage that kind of issue. So you can just borrow it and make it a part of your life. So I did it a lot in these months, and I think that I'm changed, but yeah, I hope in a better way and in a good way.
Yeah, and I'm sure also that you learned how to be more independent, probably.
Yeah.
Because this is very common in Norway, that like they go with the expression "do it yourself."
Yeah, it's
right?
like you can face your life, and you have to face your life. You, not someone else. You, not your parents, not your friends, just you. And it's important, but here, as a Norwegian people, you have resources. In other countries, it's not so simple. It's not so easy to have resources because of many variables. But in Italy, for example, we don't have so much money when we grow up. So it's difficult also to find a job that pays you the right amount of money. And so that kind of independency is really difficult to achieve. Here, it's different. I can say that it's really different. And also young people can build a family, and they can buy a home, a car, without any big problems or big issue about it. But it's my perception. I don't know if it's right or wrong.
So do you feel more confident or maybe more reflective after coming to Norway?
Absolutely more reflective and more confident. I don't know, because it's related to my personality, and I'm not so confident. It's like, I think it's an issue that will be always there. But I mean, now I can see that I want to be with other people. I love my loneliness, my personal space, but I love as well, shared spaces with people. And I love to begin conversations. And that is a thing that, probably 6 months ago, probably that was not so my thing. Now I'm more confident in that, in approaching people and in conversation with people.
It was challenging to find people to make conversations with, especially in Norway.
Yeah, it's really difficult with Norwegian people, but if you find a common interest, it's easier. It's much more.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think there should be a context in order to start a conversation or build a relation with the Norwegian here. And even also with foreigners, because they start to adapt this character, you know?
Yeah, exactly. It's like when you come here, it's like, okay, I'm in a new context, so I need to adapt. I need to be like them. So I need to be quiet. Yeah. I don't need to speak without have any goals or objective. They don't do small talks. It's like it's not so useful.
Yeah, true.
As you can say, you need a context. You need a common ground.
Yeah, there should be a reason.
Yeah, exactly. This conversation is needed to be useful in some way.
But what's interesting also is, for example, I started to appreciate it after I spent more and more time in Norway. I started to like it. Don't like when a stranger talk to me in the bus especially after spending more than 1 year in Norway.
Yeah.
So you start to feel in peace when nobody starts a random conversation with you.
Yeah, exactly. And it's very weird and strange when it happens. When someone just approach you, you're just like, what?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like that. And I'm afraid of this when I will come back to Italy.
You could struggle then.
Yeah, absolutely.
Maybe you learned some tips like to wear headsets, pretend that you didn't hear.
Yeah. Pretend to be Norwegian and I don't.
Or scusa, I don't understand.
Scusa, jag snackar.
Yeah, that's a good tip. So is there something you discovered about yourself that you didn't expect?
Probably that I can manage the winter, the cold, because I love warm weather. I love the sea. I love summer so much. And before coming here in winter, I was really afraid to not be able to copy with the weather. But it's fine. You get used to it after 1 month.
And probably the food as well. How do you find the difference?
Well, now in this globalization world, it's easier to find something that is Italian, like pasta or tomato sauce. So it's not so hard to cook something that is related to your culture. But I'm not a really I mean I love Italy. I love Italian culture and Italian food. But if I am not in Italy, it's fine to just try other things or adapt to other food. So I love salmon. So here it's...
So you can really adapt with the Norwegian culture.
Yeah, above all salmon. So it's fine. If I have salmon, it's fine. So that
definitely. Many of our listeners are students or early career researchers, and they might be thinking about going abroad. So what advice would you give to someone considering a research visit or mobility?
In general or in Norway?
In Norway.
To not be afraid to make that step. It's beautiful to see something different from your space. And it's important to go out to your comfort zone. Because you can see so many things, so many people different from you, and it's always beautiful. It's always interesting, and you can discover so much about yourself and how you relate and how you react to other scenarios. So it's always good to just...
Yeah, I totally agree. No matter how the experience will be, I think that we never regret being open.
Yeah. Okay.
It's more likely to regret if we don't try.
Yeah, because you will have so much memories, so much things to share, to tell to somebody. You begin to think more about your environment and your life, so you can make changes that you wouldn't make if you just stayed in your home finally. And so just do it. Just stop thinking and do it.
Yeah, I totally agree. So what do you wish you had known before coming to Norway?
It's hard to say because I always prefer to not knowing things. before facing it, because it's funnier, you know? It's funny to understand that you can manage everything just, day by day, step by step. So probably I would say nothing. I mean, it's fair enough to just not know what you what you are going to experience.
Yeah, that's a very good point, because then you are more eager and open to try things without
Yeah.
overthinking.
Yeah.
Because if we wait until we become ready, we will never be ready.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, okay, I have to build fears before facing the issue. It's not good. Just do it, and then you can manage everything. You don't have to be prepared. You have to be brave enough to just not know things.
So regarding how to get a research stay or funding, is there any tip that you might give to someone who's interested in mobility or stay in Norway?
Here you have a lot of possibilities to ask for funding and to ask for research positions. So you have to build your curriculum, obviously, but I think that here it's easier in comparison to other countries. You can just search on the internet for positions or for submitting some project, and that's it. It's actually easy. You don't even overthink about it. You can search on internet.
So just to clarify, here you're talking about getting a position here, like full-time, right?
Yeah.
How about like if someone is studying in his home university and trying to get a scholarship or like a temporary stay, as you did?
Okay. Well, I was able to do it because my university just pay my salary, and I can, actually this period abroad is mandatory for my university. So I have to do it in one way or another. So I don't know if I'm the right person to ask that, but I think that with the UiO university here in Norway, you can ask for some funding related to a project, maybe a broad project, and you can have a position, maybe obviously a temporary position, but you can do this experience.
So if someone has no contact here or someone that he knows, he can just reach out to people on open position or any call.
If you go to the university websites, there are pages in which you can just search for your position of interest and you can submit.
So it's possible that like a Norwegian university proposes funding. Is it possible for a temporary stay?
Yeah. It's really possible.
That's interesting. To end on a reflection note, if you had to describe this experience in one word, what would it be?
Okay. I have a favorite Italian word that is sublime, and I guess it's translatable in sublime in English.
Yes,
because it opens a lot of opportunities. You can see a culture that is quite different from every other cultures. The Nordic culture it's like the Mediterranean diet. It's a thing. You can relate to this. I guess that sublime is the right word. It's like a spiritual experience, but in some ways also very concrete, because you have to face snow, you have to face cold, you have to face a different culture. But on the other hand, you have all this time to reflect, to write your story and to write your past, because you reflect on what you are now and what you were back then. So it's quite, you have a lot of space. So it's quite sublime.
Would you do it again and come to Norway after your visit?
I guess so. Yeah, maybe not this year, but probably next year I will try to come again. Yeah, because this relationship just doesn't stop.
Do you consider like moving to Norway completely?
Well, right now it's difficult to say, because I love Norway, it's true, but I also love so much Sicily. So it's very hard to, let Sicily go and forget it. It's not so simple. For now, I want to stay in Italy for a bit and then decide what's gonna be my future. But I think that temporary, I will go back here. Yeah,
makes sense. So what would you say to your past self before boarding the plane?
To be happy, to experience everything, and to not be afraid of anything. Just, it's fine. All that you achieved right now, all the goals, all the failures are fine. You have to go on, you have to move on, and it's okay. I mean, here you can say det går bra. It's det går bra.
It means it's okay.
Okay.
Alessia, thank you so much for sharing your story. It was so inspiring. Your journey reminds us that going abroad is not only about research or career, but it's also about learning how to live with uncertainty, silence, and growth. So, and to our listeners, if you're standing at the edge of decision, maybe this is your sign to take in your step. So I hope that you all find it inspiring, and we wish you also good luck and maybe step forward into a new adventure. Thank you, Alessia.
Thank you.